When it comes to the first gym leaders of every generation, it appears, at least on the surface, that there's not much to be said for them. Let's face it, they're incredibly weak relative to most other gym leaders. But that's exactly where the True Power series steps in and says, hold on a minute. What if these trainers were holding back and scaling down their teams because they knew that we had no badges? What if that's required of gym leaders, just as we saw Brock doing in the Pokemon Origins special anime? And perhaps, most importantly, what if that's the case with today's trainer, who will be kicking off our adventure into Generation 3? Roxanne, the Rock-type gym leader of Rustboro City in the Hoenn region. As far as we can tell, Roxanne appears to have been a relatively recent graduate of the Pokemon Trainer School in Rustboro, which perhaps might explain her outfit choice and possibly indicates that she's a relatively new gym leader as well. Her personality seems to be quite prim and proper, and she's very adamant about following the rules of the Pokemon League, which entrusted her with the gym, saying things like, "The Pokemon League's rules state that trainers are to be given this if they defeat a gym leader. Please accept the official Pokemon League Stone Badge." While she can get frustrated if her work doesn't pay off, such as when she loses, she gracefully accepts defeat and quickly views it as a learning opportunity, as she's always seeking to learn about Pokemon and battling, which is reminiscent of Gym Leader Bugsy of the Johto region. However, similar to Gym Leader Whitney, she also has a bit of an immature and overeager side sometimes, as shown in the Delta episode of the post-game of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire when, at a Fossil Maniac's house, she is seen begging him to give her a fossil, and even tries to bribe him by offering him a stone badge, but quickly retracts her offer and is ashamed at herself for having nearly broken her vow to the League. Interestingly, if you approach Roxanne while having Steven's gift Beldum in your party, she'll mention that she's actually friends with Steven, and she apparently also goes out on rock hunting expeditions with him occasionally. She says, "I have a friend who shares my keen interest in collecting stones. His name is Steven. He's known for his serious expression, but when it comes to rare stones or steel-type Pokemon, his eyes light up. He gets animated and his expression changes, showing an unexpected charming side." Studious, well-read, and passionate about battling, Roxanne appears to be a knowledgeable trainer, but we don't get to see her full strength initially. Using all of her appearances in the main series games, it's time to discover what she's truly capable of. It's time to find out her true power. Roxanne's first appearance was of course in the first Gen 3 games, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, where she serves as the first gym leader we encounter. Her team can prove quite difficult for trainers who don't have a grass or water type at this point. In this battle, she has a level 14 Geodude and a level 15 Nosepass, both of which have means to increase their defense even further and even have Rock Tomb to lower the opponent's speed. At this point, it's worth mentioning that we can also battle Roxanne in the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. However, she actually has a weaker team in these games with her Geodude at level 12 and her Nosepass at level 14, and unfortunately there's no opportunity to rematch her. But that doesn't mean she's done quite yet. The next time we can battle Roxanne occurs in the Gen 3 third version game Pokemon Emerald, where she can actually be battled on multiple occasions, unlike the originals. The first time we face her, she now has two Geodudes at level 12, followed by her Nosepass at level 15, which now also holds an Oran Berry for an extra challenge. After the player becomes champion though, they can return to her gym where she'll offer 4 different doubles rematches that get incrementally more difficult. They start with her Pokemon in the mid-30s in terms of levels, and with evolutions like her Geodude now becoming a Golem. Since her team steadily builds up in terms of levels and evolutions throughout the 4 rematches, for our purposes it's only necessary to look at the final rematch in which she's become far more powerful. In the 4th Emerald rematch, Roxanne begins with a brand new level 47 Aerodactyl, followed by her now fully evolved level 47 Golem, a new level 47 Omastar, a new level 50 Kabutops, a brand new level 50 Steelix, and finally her Nosepass, which is now at level 52. This is where we start seeing what Roxanne is truly capable of, although it certainly doesn't end here. The final main series game that Roxanne can be battled in is Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, where she participates in the Pokemon World Tournament. Roxanne can be found battling in 3 different tournament styles where she rotates between 2 different teams. Keep in mind that the World Tournament automatically sets all Pokemon to level 50, but we can get a good idea of new additions to her collection since the events of Gen 4 and how competitively viable her Pokemon have become. In the Hoenn Leaders Tournament, Roxanne now rotates between her now fully evolved Probopass, followed by a brand new Armaldo, a brand new Cradle, a brand new Agron, a brand new Relicanth, and finally her Golem. In the Type Expert and World Leaders Tournaments, Roxanne rotates between 5 of the same Pokemon as well as a brand new fossil Pokemon, Caracosta, that replaces her Relicanth. It's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Using all of her appearances in the main series Pokemon games, let's construct Roxanne's best possible team. The first spot on Roxanne's best team is going to go to her Agron from her Black 2 and White 2 Pokemon World Tournament team, in which it's automatically set to level 50. However, in her Type Expert and World Leaders team, her Agron is actually shown to have Metal Burst, which it doesn't learn in Gen 5 or earlier until level 65. To play it very safe, we could assume that she might have kept her Lairon unevolved for 14 levels until level 56 to teach it Metal Burst. So I think it's safe to say Agron is somewhere around level 60 overall, making it her highest level Pokemon. Agron is currently in the PU tier in competitive battling, the second worst tier besides untiered, but it does add some good value to this team. Agron's base stats are quite interesting, with a phenomenal 180 in defense and 110 in attack, with all of its other stats being mediocre, making it a tank of sorts. It does have the amazing Rock Head ability though, which ensures that it doesn't take any damage from recoil attacks. This is paired incredibly well with Stab 150 power Head Smash that Roxanne has on it, and it also has some other good moves in her care like Stab Iron Head, Avalanche, and Outrage. It can also use moves like Massive Power Stab Heavy Slam, Aqua Tail, Earthquake, and Superpower for coverage. The second pick is going to be Roxanne's Aerodactyl from her Pokemon Emerald 4th rematch battle, in which it's at level 47. Given that 10 years have passed in the timeline since then and all of her other Pokemon are level 50 plus, we can safely say it's probably around there too. Aerodactyl is currently in the NU tier, making it one of Roxanne's higher tier Pokemon. Its base stats are also quite great, with an insane 130 in speed, 105 in attack, and a decent 80 HP too, providing some much needed speed on her team. Combined with Aerodactyl's immunity to ground, which is also very helpful, it can also run moves like Stab Stone Edge and Aerial Ace, along with other moves like Earthquake, Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, and Pursuit for solid coverage, making it a very useful physical sweeper. The third spot on Roxanne's best team is going to go to her Steelix, also from her 4th Emerald rematch, in which it's at level 50. Steelix is also currently in the NU tier, and its base stats are quite crazy, with a ridiculous 200 in defense, a solid 85 in attack, and a decent 75 in HP, meaning on this team it's best to fulfill a physical wall or even tank function. Way back in the day, Roxanne had Iron Tail, Explosion, Roar, and Rock Slide on this thing, but it could possibly be a Stealth Rock setter with Toxic, Stab Heavy Slam, and Stab Earthquake too. Coming in at number 4 on the team is going to be Roxanne's Cradle from her Black 2 and White 2 World Tournament teams, in which it's at level 50 plus. Cradle is currently untiered, but it's honestly quite underrated in battle. Its base stats are really solid, with everything but its speed being between 81 and 107, and its rock and grass typing is quite difficult to deal with. Cradle is a hugely important member of this team because it can fulfill a special wall and special attacking role with great moves that Roxanne has had on it, like Stab Giga Drain with Recovery, Stab Ancient Power with a chance to raise all of its stats, Stealth Rock or Toxic, and Recover to gain back health, or Amnesia to further its special defense to insane levels. This thing is absolutely crucial and really brings this team together with its special stats and ability to help with water types really well. And the second last spot on this team is going to go to Roxanne's Kabutops from her Emerald rematch, in which it's at level 50. Kabutops is currently in the PU tier and has a great attack, defense, and its speed is pretty good for this team too, which is much needed. Not only does Kabutops help protect against water types which otherwise threaten this team, but it can also perform a sort of sweeper role, especially if Roxanne has a Choice Scarf. Otherwise, she has great moves on it like Swords Dance to power up its attack even further, and Stab Rock Slide, but it can also run Stab Priority Aqua Jet, Liquidation, and Stone Edge, along with Knockoff to get rid of the opponent's item, and Superpower for more coverage. And the final spot on Roxanne's best team is going to go to another fossil Pokemon, her Armaldo from her World Tournament teams, in which it's at level 50 plus. Armaldo is untiered, but it does have a niche on this team with its bug coverage to help with Psychic, Dark, and Grass types. Aside from its speed, all of the stats that Armaldo actually uses are between 75 and 125, including a great attack and defense. Roxanne has incredible moves on it like Stab X Scissor, Rock Slide, and Stone Edge, along with Curse to raise its attack and defense, along with Rock Polish, which is amazing to raise its speed, and Earthquake and Aqua Tail for coverage. It could potentially also run Rapid Spin though, which is much needed on this team for Spikes and Stealth Rock in particular. Overall, Armaldo rounds out this team really well. Although this is Roxanne's best team, she does have a few other Pokemon that are worth mentioning and could be swapped in depending on who she's battling. First is her level 50 plus Caracosta, which is a solid Pokemon and could possibly fight for Armaldo's spot, but adds another 4x grass weakness to the team despite its solid rock ability. Next is her level 47 Omastar, which could be great but is outclassed by Kabutops and Caracosta in its role and is of course a little bit lower leveled. Next up is our level 50 plus Golem, which adds another 4x grass weakness and a 4x water weakness too, and there are better Stealth Rock setters on the team already. She's also got her level 52 Probopass, which is her signature Pokemon, but it adds another 4 times ground weakness and 4 times fighting weakness and just isn't a great competitive Pokemon overall. Finally, her level 50 plus Relicanth is outclassed by the many other water and rock type Pokemon that she has. Well, there we go everyone, we have discovered Roxanne's true power and unveiled her strongest possible team in the main series games. If you enjoyed this video and are looking forward to more from the series, please be sure to leave a like, share it on social media, and subscribe with notifications on by hitting that bell icon if you haven't already. All forms of support help a ton and are super appreciated. Don't forget to comment down below with what trainer you wish to see featured next. The comment with the most likes will pick the trainer for the next week's episode and will be featured on screen. Before we go, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you enjoy my content and would like to support the channel and get some cool perks too, the link to my Patreon page will be in the description below. This has been Soul Spectre, and I'll see you guys next time for more True Power.